Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. Just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Hi, Jackie. Hi, baby. Hi, Jim's Landscape. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Soy Base Jeremy. Thank you for coming in. And now I'm going to say hi to everybody on the panel. Hi, Orange Hat. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Rooftop.
Hey, Janet. Thanks for having me on.
And you're welcome. And hi, Ruben. Thank you for joining me again. And make sure all of you guys share your Twitter links and your YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel or whatever, in the chat tonight. Okay, all through the during the show. It'd be really nice if you tried that, but I appreciate it. But tonight we're going to have a little bit of mixture of some decent stuff, and try not to be so depressing, because I did get an email yesterday and it was really good. I wrote him back and he was talking about, that we should try not to be so doom and gloom because we have a long time till November, right? So I thought, okay, maybe we can do it, but I decided to just wear my shirt. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try not to be all doom and gloom, but my shirt will say exactly how I feel about.
Nobody's going to be reading the shirt, Janet. Just saying.
Well, I'm reading it right now.
Oh, now I can read it.
Socialism sucks.
Well, I was. If you just move a little bit, get rid of the S. It just like says what? Socialism what?
But
the S and like, oh my god.
But yeah, it's the weekend's coming, and tomorrow I'll be playing, Dungeons and Dragons all day, or Pathfinder, or whatever they call it, depending on whatever Bruce calls it. But
Dungeons and Dragons are the devil.
Well, I don't think so. It's fun. I love doing it. I know.
That was the 80s scare.
So it's exciting. But I figured this morning or this afternoon or tonight or whatever, wherever you're at, depending on what time it is, that I would start off with this little presentation. So here we go. Let me get it open here.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Only for mature audiences. The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. Intended only for mature audiences.
There you go. All right. So that let you know that we are going to
I'll take my shirt off now.
Does that clear up for language? Okay.
Really grown up stuff going on the shit show. And it's, because last week it was a big shit show. So this week it's going to be a little calmer, but we are going to talk about some important things that I feel are important. And I think the rest of the panel will think it's important and want to chime in on it. Now, if anyone in the chat would like to chime in on any of the things that we talk about, just post it in there, and I'll try to make sure I share it up on the on the Jumbotron or whatever you want to call it down at the bottom there where our tickers are going by. But the first thing I want to bring up is the let's see, which one was it? Let me look real quick. I'm sorry, I got to get them in order here. Okay, I thought this would be a really good one to start with. Is this the right one? No, that's not it. Sorry, just give me a second. Part.
By the way, those who are tuning in on my side, the Friday or Orange Hat Uncensored, the special one is going to Monday, 10 p.m. instead of tonight. Just wanted to make sure that all you guys who didn't get the memo before now have it. So
it's Michelle Obama.
Okay, I turned this up, but this is basically an interview with a woman who is like squatting on some property. So I wanted everybody to watch this, and I got it turned up and I made it big. Can you guys see it really good? Okay, yes. So we're going to listen to it and then we can all discuss it, because this is a real problem in some of these big cities. So here we go. I think this is in Detroit. Yeah, this is in Detroit. Here we go.
If I left my house, say for a month
and a half,
you think you would be entitled to move in there?
Well,
take my stuff.
Well, it's a lot of. I'm not the only one that is squatting. It's a lot of other people on the block. If you want to be technical, and a lot of people encouraged me to do what I'm doing now.
But she wants her place back.
Yeah, but I had put a lot of work in here and I spent a lot of money. I am on a fixed income.
Is that power hooked up legit there?
My power is...
That's not legit.
It's not legit.
No, you stealing a bit of power.
I am blessed.
What do you do for a living?
I receive Social Security. I don't have
What
no
happened?
secrets.
Disability?
Yes.
What's your ailment?
I'm not going to say.
That's her right. If I left my house.
Okay, so that's it. That's the interview. And I don't even think that was really a woman. So, I don't know. I don't know the person. But the fact that they're stealing electricity on top of it by wiring it up themselves, that's a fire hazard, right? And the fact that they're doing it and they're interviewing it, and this person, is just nonchalant about it. They don't even give a shit that they're on TV showing their face and telling people that they're basically stealing somebody's property and their electricity. And nobody does shit. I just don't understand it. That's why, remember a few shows back when we did the squat buster guy who gets with the people that own the house, and then he gets them to write him out a new lease, and then he just goes in the house and moves in, right? He just stays there. And as soon as the people leave to go get food or anything, he changes the locks on the door and stuff. And then they have to take him to court to get back in because he's the one that has proof that he's leasing the place. They have no evidence that they're leasing. What the fuck? Okay. I don't understand any of this shit. Excuse my language.
This person.
How can someone just go in someone's house and live there?
What state was this?
That was in Detroit.
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that person also admitted in that interview that by saying that the electricity wasn't hers, she admitted to a crime. She's saying she's blessed, but she still admitted to a crime by admitting it wasn't hers. So Michigan or they could call the police using that as evidence to get her out of the house. Unfortunately, we all know that Michigan is a blue wasteland and a shithole. Folks, as long as your fucking state is blue, it is a shithole. My state's blue. It's a shithole. I live here, unfortunately. But you know what? Michigan is, you want shit to change? Get a freaking, what do they call this shit? Squat buster. Get a squat buster.
Yeah, but one thing I want to add is this woman or person said on TV that they're getting a paycheck for disability. So all they got to do is say, we're not paying you a dime because you're stealing electricity and you're squatting on someone's property. You're breaking the law. So you get no check.
Forget about my red state relocate. I'm going to Michigan and I'm starting up the Wolverine squatter removal service. And I think it should be wonderful. I think you guys, Wolverine, should get behind that. Thank you.
Wolverine! You make a lot of money because this guy was doing that and he was doing pretty good. And he was always busy, always had somebody right after he got rid of one place, he had another one. And that lady that he was talking to was saying, well, this woman wants her house back. She goes, well, I put a lot of work into this. It's like.
The problem is I live behind enemy lines in California. The local law enforcement and the government officials will take the side of the squatters. They will arrest and prosecute the homeowners that are trying to reclaim their homes. And it's just so awful. So, until you can get those mentalities fixed, it's going to be a larger problem. Until then, there's the
did this used to be a problem, like 5-6 years ago? People would just go in and squat, and anyone, you couldn't get rid of them.
Because that video you showed is actually it's an old video from many years ago. That one you just showed.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it is. Okay, because I just saw it the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this!" But the thing is that it's always been if you go and you move into someone's property, you could just stay there,
right?
And the cops can't kick you out or anything. When did that happen?
it's happened. It's been going because again, it's been going on for a very long time since the liberal cities have been run over by activists and stuff. And the idea when you have here is the system is set up that way where you have like people who actually work for a living have to like go to work, have to pay bills and want to, can maintain their good credit, want to do all these things, follow the rules. And they're constantly only in their bubble doing what they need to get done. Those people that can, work the system. My father used to work on the bridge coming in from Mexico and have people coming over. And he basically said that, people that are trying to break the law legally within guidelines to do things that skirt the law but are still legal, investigate what's going on here. It's the criminal mindset, because if you can get incarcerated and go to jail, you learn how to do things. When you get out, you know the system, you learn the system. So the system is set up, is so convoluted that people that are if you hang out with people in a homeless shelter or go somewhere and you're on the streets, you find out, just like that guy that one time that said, hey, they go into a house. If you go into it and you sit in there, you'll be part of, you can stay in that house because that's part legally, you can do that. And that's what they're doing, because they have the system. It's all this black market aspect.
If you own property, let's say you own a duplex where there's 2 units, right? And one's rented and the other one's vacant. And then you go there to get it ready because now you had someone call and they're moving and they want to move in, but you can't get in because there's some squatters in there. Okay. Within, let's say it's only been a week since the other person moved out. So then you go and you say, hey, there's people here. I want them arrested or whatever. And they say, well, we can't arrest them. You have to go to court and prove that they're not leasing from you, whatever, whatever those laws are. So all this time that's going by, however long it takes to go to court and do all that shit, you still have to pay insurance on the place because it's yours. Because they burn it down, you lose your whole thing, right? It's gone if you don't pay for the insurance. And then you have to pay to keep the electricity and all the other things, the water or whatever, and taxes. So you're liable to get your property taxes put you in jail for not paying it while someone's stealing from you, living in your property and probably putting holes in the wall, trash in the place on the inside. It's going to be disgusting, especially if there's no water. Let's say that the other people turn the water off. So now they're not using the toilet or anything because there's no water, you see, like they were stealing the electricity for that other one we just saw. So I just don't understand that. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Why would a person pay taxes and own property in any city that allows anyone and their brother to go in and say, oh, well, I'm going to move in. There's nothing you can do about it. Fuck you.
Well, the thing is here's where the rub is. Mm-hmm. When you you're dealing with, single family homes and people that squat, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But then if you deal with large corporations doing the same thing, that's where they block it. So this enhances people to have to say, I can't do this anymore. I need to sell my house because I'm paying this guy. I'm paying this for this house, paying this electricity. This guy is in here. I'm getting bankrupt. So I have to sell the house. So you foreclose and you have to go to the house and the guy's still there. Then it's bought up by a BlackRock or corporation that has the power of a larger corporation to go in there and buy the property. So this is done on purpose. This is all part of their plan to basically have the small homeowner or the person who legitimately wants to have Airbnbs and properties out there to rent them, to pay people. And then if someone goes in there and just squats on it, then no, you can't kick this person out. But then if a BlackRock or a large corporation buys it, then, hey, my friend, can you do this? Yes, we'll get them out. Because it's basically, they're doing it because they're trying to get rid of it. The same thing they did when they shut everything down and they said, oh, you can't go to get this pizza place, this restaurant, that family-owned restaurant, you got to shut it down. This church, you got to shut it down. But you can still go to Target, you can still go to a Best Buy, you can still go to whatever store, large big box store. again, it's shutting down small businesses and shutting down small business owners. Because think about it, the people who rent out houses are small business owners.
Yeah,
So it's basically
like, let's say you have 2 duplexes. Okay, you have 2 different ones in 2 different areas, and you use them. You live in one of them, okay? Because whatever, you live in one, and the other 3 you do Airbnb, because you can get like 3 times the amount of money depending on where it is in the touristy area, right? But then some asshole realizes, hey, I'm going to sign up for this Airbnb, and you show up, but you never pay him a dime, and you move in, and now you're squatting.
right.
So, I just think it's bullshit. I can't believe that anyone can do it. What happens when they do get rid of the person, or they're finally able to pull that person out? Are there any charges against this person?
No.
See, why?
That's again,
Let them
going
go
back
to jail and get free food.
But going back to what I said before, that's how the system works. The system works so that the small business owner, the small homeowner, the one that is trying to just make a living and do something with his life and have some property, because basically that was the dream when you thought about it growing up. And even the plot of, what is it, Superman, the first Superman, real estate. It's all about owning property, flipping houses. And you see all the things that were going on recently, on TV, when they say buy a house and flip it and makes a profit and doing like that. This is going to destroy it. And basically you're going to have BlackRock and larger corporations go in there and buy all the properties, and then, China will own everything, and that'll be it.
Yeah, because
let's not let them get in the houses in the first place, Janet. We've all seen Home Alone. If we ever need to leave the house to take care of an ill relative, booby trap your home. Don't let them get in. Once they get in, that's where we're coming to all the problems. That's the whole discussion, right?
Well, what can you possibly do, though, to booby trap your home and not ruin it? You know what I mean? You don't want to blow your house up. Okay, so what can you possibly do to get it, to booby trap it, and not have them, when people crawl through the window or something happens, that it's not going to ruin your house?
Oh God, forget that. Forget even that, Janet. Rooftop. Think about this. I like the idea of booby trapping the house, but again, but think about this one. It's already happened already, where, let's say you're home, Janet. Okay, and then some guy tries to break in, and you have a gun and shoot him, but you're not in Arkansas. Let's say you're in New York or you're in California or whatever.
Yeah, and I go to prison.
Yeah, you'd go to prison, and they would allow you for the guy to sue you because he got harmed getting into your home. That is true,
Ruben.
So how do they expect,
if someone breaks into your house in California and drowns in your pool, the homeowner is liable, even if they climb over your fence and drown in your pool. Even if they did all those things wrong.
They're putting those little glass things over it, where there's a door and everything.
I know, but the whole point to this is what we have realized now since 2020, especially, but it's now being drilled in us. As what do you say, Janet? You say all the time, every week. You say it. Go to the polls, work the polls, because that's the thing. Yeah. No, but I'm being serious in a way.
That's why I said you have to start local, because I honestly believe that the only way for us to win is for us to take back our towns, take back our cities, take back our state, so we can take it away from the federal government. Honestly, I don't see any other route. I really don't.
Rooftop. A little on the side note, there, and another topic somewhat like similar. Are you in a blue area or a red area of California?
Oh, unfortunately, I'm in a very blue state. I tried to find as red an area as possible. In the desert SoCal region, rural Ventura County, if you know where I'm talking about. So it's up the coast from.
Okay.
But, it's very safe here where I live, but we're starting to see those problems. They bleed out. They don't just stay in Santa Barbara or San Francisco or LA. So yeah, I'm concerned about possible squatting, but I'm also a landlord for some rental properties. Go ahead.
Right. And this goes to what Orange Hat you said last week, in the sense that New York is besides New York City, all of New York is red, and not New York, and this is where it's blue. If you took New York out, it would be red. And this goes to something I wanted to ask both of you, Rooftop and Orange Hat per se, because Trump did say this week, he was interviewed when he was there in New York.
Oh, he's going to flip New York. Yeah.
He says he wants to flip New York. Do you think that if he does flip New York, what about California? Is California too far gone, or California could flip?
California is a failed state.
California
There's
is
no
too
way.
far gone. Orange Hat.
But it's not just New York that he has to flip. Or not the city that he has to flip. He's got to flip the New York City, yes. But he's also got to flip Buffalo. He's also got to flip freaking Rochester, and he's also got to flip Syracuse for the most part.
Well, I want
Ruben,
to
I appreciate the
say something
optimism.
real quick to Sci-Fi Nation.
I'm just asking.
You said that
No, but
this has
go
nothing
ahead,
to
Janet.
do with the federal politics, that this is all based on local law. Yes, you're right. But it does have something to do with federal, because just like we talked about this, I think it was last week or the week before, that if you look at the map overall, red or blue, right? Red being conservative, blue being liberal. If you look at it, there's almost a sea of red. If you look at the whole country, right? Except every blue dot is a city. So when you leave the rural areas and you go towards the cities, it becomes bluer and bluer and bluer. It's just purple and then blue. Those is where that stuff is happening, and that's because those people are the ones that are running everything. That's government. Okay, to me, they just take that and they move on up to become governors, senators, and congressmen.
That is true. Before he was ever Governor Hair Gel, he was Mayor Hair Gel of San Francisco. But a lot of that stuff infected the suburbs. The kids sent their parents sent their kids to universities. They come back. The very rural county I grew up in, it's now a suburban county up in Northern California, Solano County. It was like 85% conservative when I was growing up. This is 80s. Yeah. And then now it's about 63% voting Democrat. So it does happen. And we kind of need every single person to show up to vote. Like, for example, let me give you all know about the recall of, the failed recall of Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Tons of people are happy to sign the petitions, but to actually get them to show up to vote. I was calling some friends, and my friend's like, I'm going surfing. My friend's like, I'm just going to go to work. Forget it. So there's this huge apathy problem on the side of the few conservatives that are left
why do you think that is?
It's just kind of a hopeless situation unless there's a tidal wave. If there's a great tsunami that resets, that gives the left coast the great reset that WEF never saw coming, and there's a big population change, I don't see too much changing. People are, it's like sports teams. They want to, they'll stick with it until the end.
You want to know the truth, Janet? The truth is.
Let me show you something right here. Okay, this is another thing. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Darn it. Let me see. Where was it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was the right one. Okay. You're right about that. But just as we found out last week or a couple days ago, when they voted to send that, $91 billion package, the giant bullshit that's going to be, we're going to be in debt for another 75 years or more if we don't add anything to it now. Right. Well, because they're not Republicans anymore. They're all the same party. These people are, I can't tell them apart. If you just looked at the way these people vote, how do you tell who's what? You don't.
Yeah, but the thing is that's the misnomer. That's why I don't like the title of "Are you a Republican or a Democrat?" I am myself. I am myself. I'm
independent.
Yeah, and the thing is that that's why I say, and I've said it before. I have always, when I go vote, and I only vote in presidential. I don't care about local because I have nothing. There's nothing local here to me, and maybe you could ask me why I don't give a shit because I just don't. But every 4 years I vote, and I basically vote against the person that I don't want by voting for the other person, and it's always been down. Okay, who I don't like, I vote. So I voted for Perot twice. And I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I said, no, I'm not doing this because he's too concerned. He's too liberal, because I didn't want that.
Yeah.
But I voted for Trump wholeheartedly in 2020. The first time ever I voted for somebody and said, yes, I'm dead set going to vote for this guy because he did a damn good job the last 4 years. And what was it? Okay, so that's what's very important. But again, the apathy aspect of it, you were saying why this is happening and why our cities being the way they are is because, again, and I think rooftop, you mentioned this, the idea that you have you said it part of it, but I'll say the other part, and I said it before, where good people believe in the American dream, so that they basically they work hard, so they're focused on work, and when they finish work, they get their beer, their drink, or they go football, they watch something, they just want to be entertained and just do their job,
relax.
They want to relax. And when someone brings up a politic or something local, they don't care about it because they're just doing their thing. They're not out picketing or saying we have to stop this, stop that. They're just working. Then you have people who say, well, we have to make change. We have to create change. Those people that are not working, or they don't do anything, they're in academia, or they're community organizers, and they're going out there and saying, yeah, let's do this, do that. We have to fight for 15. Now they're, what is it? California's at $20 for minimum wage. Yeah. And then now they say, okay, we're closing down our restaurants. Well, what are you doing here? You're racist for doing that because you're getting rid of it. No, you're stealing. Poor Benny Johnson went to see the original In-N-Out, and he did a video. He went to videotape it.
After it was closed, it fenced off, and he still got.
It was all fenced. Crime. It was all fenced out, and then he got his car broken into, and they were showing video B-roll of before they were closing what would happen at that In-N-Out. Think about this. At that In-N-Out, people would go and order their food and wait in the line outside the drive-through line, and people would come up with guns and rob them.
It's
in broad daylight. And this is this is the whole idea. And again, maybe it's apathy. Why is it happening? But no, it's basically because, again, you can't arrest these people. It's not right, because there's this disproportional amount of blacks. It all goes to that famous line from Liar Liar, from Jim Carrey said, "Boss, that guy's in jail again. Stop breaking the law, asshole." That's what you do. Stop breaking the law. Stop doing it.
It pays to break the law. It pays to be a criminal. I mean, you get treated better than a person that works their ass off and tries to pay their debts, tries to just raise their family and mind their own business.
Janet,
but the fact, what?
Ruben, have you our in chat, have you heard about there's a Los Angeles-based district attorney or so-called prosecutor named George Gascon? He sounds like Kermit the Frog, Soros guy. But there are criminals writing thank you letters to him, thanking him for being so soft on crime. And it is a soft on crime attitude that a lot of these Bay Area, Los Angeles people vote for, and they think they feel good. Right. They think they feel good, but they don't think about the actual very predictable real world consequences. They don't think about economic reality, actual reality. They want to feel good and virtue signal. Look at what I did. I voted for this. And then it goes to hell in a handbasket. But you've seen Oakland, guys. I mean, Benny showed up after that In-N-Out was already closed. And it's so sad that Oakland is so bad. I used to go there for football and baseball games.
The thing is, too, common sense tells you that if you keep raising the price of something, people will stop buying it. Okay, that's common sense. Okay, you start going for the cheaper stuff. You start looking for something else that can substitute for that. That's like when
and places close.
Yeah, but the thing is that when instead of closing, some of them might just get rid of half the employees or more and put in those little things where you go up and you just order your shit yourself, just like if you can order it online.
Yeah, and then you have
machines cooking your food, and then a person puts it in a bag and hands it to you. I mean, that's why it's only they're going the cheapest route they can because they have to make a profit, or there's no reason to have a business. But that is sad because people don't understand business.
They're
they
making
can't
the
even
cost of
read and
doing
write.
business way too expensive.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't even read or write or do math when they graduate from high school. So they don't even realize that they're the reason why there's no jobs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
you know,
crazy.
I don't know how to fix stuff like that.
Yeah, and then and you got Biden, who came out during the Super Bowl and then came out during the recently was basically saying companies are gouging you. You know, they're making they're taking things smaller. We have to stop that right now. I'm going to make a law that does. It's your fault, motherfucker. You're the ones that's spending all the fucking money, dumbass.
Do you remember the time when Biden was blaming the gas station owners?
Yes.
I mean, he was like, they don't know about market forces, the price of a gallon, oil or barrels.
Well, those
he
assholes
just wanted to blame the poor gas station owner who's trying to get someone to buy like an overpriced Diet Coke for 50 cents more, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're all both saying, but then not only Biden's blaming and again, this is where the double effect is, where Biden's blaming the gas station owners. Because again, think about it. These gas stations, like an Exxon is a Shell and all this stuff. It's a distributor, somebody who bought that franchise that runs it. So they're trying to make a profit. Okay, that's why they do these things. And then you have, what was it? I lost my train of thought. The idea that someone's trying to make a living beer distributors, where they were where the whole Bill and Mulvaney thing, you have Bud Light doing something so stupid, and then you got people who want to let's get rid of Bud Light. But what did it do? It hurt the distributor who is trying to make a living. All they're doing is they sell all these different brands, and then they had to reshift their model. And you had some people who spent their entire life to get a franchise to sell Bud Light, and then they go on and do this shit, and it screws everything up. It's all planned. Because again, there's short selling going on. Soros doing all these things, BlackRock doing all these things out there, and we're letting legal robbery happen.
Yeah, but also you got to remember, kids are graduating from high school. They don't understand business. They don't understand that you have a person that comes up with an idea, right? The idea says, we're going to branch and we're going to start our own business. We're going to do this, that, and the other in our thing. And we're going to hire a few people and they'll make our product. And then you're going to be the marketer and we're going to do this. And we'll get some businesses to let us put it on their shelves. And you're slowly growing, right? That's what entrepreneurs are supposed to do. Then now you have 6 employees and you're like, we're doing it. We're out of the red. Okay. We're making money now. So they're making a profit. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, you're not paying your employees enough money. Okay. So then they got to raise that. And then they say, now we got to raise the price of our product so we can afford to pay the employees and pay their taxes and pay for the electricity. And you got all the other stuff you have to branch out. And now nobody will buy their product and then they go out of business. And then people wonder why they were racist. They didn't want to sell it to us for the right price, or whatever bullshit. Right. Then you have people going into your store, taking $900 worth of product off the shelf, which there's no way to tell how much it is because they just rake the shit off in a bag and then walk out. Then they take it down the street to their apartment or whatever, and they put it online and sell it on eBay.
Yep. Yep.
And so it's like,
do you hear what the Biden administration is doing now?
I don't see how they expect anybody to stay in business when they do this shit.
The Biden administration is suing a company because of their policy of not hiring criminals.
Sheets. That doesn't surprise.
It's funny. Here, right? It's funny. Remember that Trump went to the Chick-fil-A, and then there was a big wow, look what he did, and all the mainstream media was trying to downplay it, and then the Biden administration says we gotta do something. Let's go to Wawa, which is all set up. Then he went to a Sheetz and did the same thing, and it was even worse. Everyone was laughing at him. And Sheetz is run by Democrats, and then it came off so bad that the DOJ decided to go after Sheetz. It's basically, again, it's mob mentality. We're gonna go to your place. We're gonna buy some food there, and you could look nice. You make it look good, and then if it looks bad, we're gonna take you out.
They tried that in California, didn't they? Rooftop, where there was like a famous actor or singer, and he opened a restaurant, and he was only charging people what they thought the food was worth.
Yeah, they pulled the socialism diet.
How long did that last?
Oh yeah, they never.
They went out of business in like less than 3 months.
Okay,
was it Orange Hat? Less than 3 months.
The thing is, people don't want to pay. If they can get it for free, why should they pay for it? You see, so and that's the mentality. People are cheap asses, and they don't. They say, well, I can get it for nothing. I can go down the street. That's why when a person is charging a certain price for something, and then someone down the street starts selling the same product or similar to it, people go down there because it's cheaper. But just like what we did with our cars, the whole thing, we had cars made out of metal. They were made to last for years and years. They still use a lot of them in Cuba, right now, from the 1950s and stuff. And now they make them out of plastic and who knows what, aluminum or whatever. And they don't last 5, 10, 20 years. They're falling apart, or even before that, before you even pay for it.
Yeah, planned obsolescence has gone out of control. That's the whole idea. And the thing is that these are the same assholes that say that we have to stay green, yet they don't make anything that lasts a long time. The latest iPhone every year you have to upgrade. No, why don't you make a phone that lasts 10 years? It's a fucking phone. It's not. I have computers here that can last 10 years. Why do I need to get a new computer for? If it breaks, it breaks. I fix it. But no, you can't fix these things. You can't change the battery. You can't fix them. You can't update the cars. When you buy a car now, if you get into a little accident, they have to replace the whole thing. It's ridiculous. And that's how it goes back. Where it goes back into when the cars were first created. Before the Ford, assembly line happened, you had a guy that made the car. One guy knew how to build a car, and those, like I said, those cars are now they do in Cuba where they can build them, rebuild them, and do that stuff. And my godfather was a mechanic, and I want to do that. I would love to get an old car and fix it up. And then just try that car. No technology, no nothing. I want to basically have it run smoothly. Now, if a car breaks down, after a while, get a new one. Replace it. Get that. Get cash for clunkers. Do this stuff. It's retarded. It's stupid.
But now you have these gangs of people in the cities and stuff that just go around and they in a little group and they just steal catalytic converters off the cars.
Yes.
Okay, right in the middle of the day, they just go and you'll be driving by and you see a whole truck, and the back end of the truck is filled with them, and then they take them somewhere and they sell them to somebody. They're doing it for a reason, but the thing is, now a person
metal
has a car
recyclers
that you use.
I know, it's crazy.
It's outrageous. I mean, it's gotten so bad because the criminals can do whatever they want, and they get this
soft on crime. This is another San Francisco story. Maybe 2 years ago, I have a friend that his neighbor got his catalytic converter stolen twice in the same year. And that's like a few $1,000s each time to get all that done with labor and everything. It's awful for some people. It's awful.
Mm-hmm. So for the next thing we can talk about, do you want me to go ahead and pull yours up, Orange Hat? Ready to talk about it? Okay, I'm going to add it at the stage.
Now, folks, we all have heard the news that Harvey Weinstein's convictions were overturned. And they go over in this article from Forbes why what led to it and why it was dropped. Now, I am about to say something controversial. Just want you all to understand this. It's a good thing that this man's convictions were overturned due to the reasons they were overturned. I am not condoning what Harvey Weinstein has done. The man is scum. And he does deserve to go to prison for what he has done. However, it is good that they caught this so that they can retry him. He is not a free man. I just want you all to know he is in Rikers currently. He is not getting released right now. Mm-hmm. But he is, they did overturn his convictions, and and I'm going to read from this. In a stunning reversal of the Me Too most significant rulings in the Me Too movement, basically what kicked the Me Too movement off, or kicked it off. New York's Court of Appeals overturned Weinstein's 2020 convictions of rape and sexual assault charges, though Weinstein still faces a sentence of similar charges in Los Angeles and could be retried in New York. That's one good thing. So they cover the timeline. Now, let's get up to 2023. Weinstein sentenced into 2023 to 16 years in Los Angeles to be served consecutively after his 2023 or his 23-year sentence. Now, the highest state's highest court in New York, the Court of Appeals, overturned the 2020 rape and sexual assault conviction in a 4-3 vote Thursday morning. The panel of judges ruled Thursday that the judge overseeing the momentous 2020 case made a critical error in allowing prosecutors to bring witness who accused Weinstein of sexual assault, even though their allegations were unrelated to the charges at hand. They convicted him of crimes that were completely unrelated to the crimes he was currently being tried for. That is a corrupt action.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to the court, those testimonies constituted propensity evidence, a decision celebrated by Weinstein's lawyer, Arthur, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, Idala, I guess, who told the New York Times the ruling was not just a victory for Weinstein, but for every criminal defendant in the state of New York. Weinstein still faces 16 years in prison from his California case. Now, folks, again, I do not condone what this man has done. I'm simply saying that if you are going to try somebody, you try them correctly, or else you get things like this happening. This is why it is a good thing. He can still be tried for the New York cases. They just need to get him on the evidence that, or as well as the charges that they have or that they're bringing against him. Unfortunately, due to the fact that this whole freaking thing, a lot of these cases were back in the 80s and shit, 90s, and maybe even the 2000s. You are talking about cases where you will have no physical evidence to prove, and therefore you are going off of word-only testimony. That is the weakest case you can get. Now, again, I do not approve of Weinstein's actions. I do not approve of the way Hollywood did things back then. However, I do acknowledge that back then, it was a different time. Things were done in a quid pro quo sense. Now, yes, there is a very good chance that he did sexually assault women. But there's also the cases, or there's also things that need to be acknowledged here. Like Kathy Bates pointed out, when it comes to things like the casting couch and meetings for sex to get parts and favors and whatnot. If you go to that hotel and you agree to have sex with the person for the favor or the part for a film or any of that, you are thereby giving your consent. You are not, or you cannot therefore claim that you were assaulted. Just because you regret it does not mean it constitutes the disgusting crimes that he is charged for. And that is me being objective here. I myself was falsely accused of this or of crap like this back in 2017. I was put in jail unjustly for it. My due process was violated. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it due to circumstances afterward. But I'm telling you right now, if I did things differently back then, I guarantee you I would have, or I wouldn't be living in the same situation that I am now. But I would also probably be poorer for it because I wouldn't have met the lovely people on this panel. But the thing is, if you're going to try somebody, you want the justice system to work properly, not corruptly. they convicted him on evidence that had nothing to do with this case. That is why it is a good thing it was overturned. It is not a good thing that it all has to happen again and he has to be retried, because unfortunately it's going to cost the state money. But yes, I am glad that they are able to retry him, and hopefully in the next case they will be able to find him guilty. They will be able to find him guilty on the evidence that they have, or whatever evidence they have related to the charges that are brought against him. You can't convict somebody with evidence that doesn't even pertain to the case.
So the question here I have, based upon what you've read, the New York State overturned this because basically he was convicted due to things were unrelated to what he did. So this is like, again, a stretch out of the left field, basically. Does this have any implication on what they should do for Trump based on what they said? Even Trump, in the sense of fact that what he's being prosecuted for, he didn't do these things for his case. And New York and Alvin Bragg is he's doing the same thing here. So Alvin Bragg is screwing everything up and basically bringing up things that don't make any sense. So everything's to get overturned. So it's basically it's
they are trying to bring they are doing their damnedest to bring everything into the related charges to Trump's case. They're doing they are playing 4D chess to actually try to make it all relate to the Trump case, except that it's not going to work.
But it's prosecutorial misconduct.
Prosecutorial misconduct. Yes.
Yeah.
They are corrupt in what they are doing.
And this I think that's why I think the Weinstein case here sets a precedent that Trump's lawyers can point to, that New York's Alvin Bragg is screwing everything up because he screwed up the Weinstein case. In a way, I don't know, but that's my opinion. I don't know if you can bring it up or not. That's all I want to say. It's related to that, because again, I see Alvin Bragg's name here, and I see the fact that again, this whole thing proves that the New York prosecutors in New York are just retarded, and they're just doing.
Letitia James should never have been, or a case with Letitia James against Trump should never have even been allowed to go forward, due to the fact that she is on tape admitting that she is going after Donald Trump, that she's going to be a pain in his ass and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry,
she even
but you already, you did that that's what's known as an admission of bias.
Yeah, she said she was going to do it, that she ran on it. She ran on the fact, when she ran for office, that I'm going to take Donald Trump down. Okay.
Do you see the scales of justice being balanced? I mean, we've seen the corruption.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
In a way, yes. Because
how's that going to?
Because one, it is showing that they are acknowledging a mistake and that they are going to try to rectify that mistake.
Yeah.
It is small things like this that can right a ship.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess you're right.
And that's why I'm saying that due to the fact that this is happening, the Trump trial is happening, and you have people now, like in New York and California, just fed up with it. That's why I say there's a possibility, and Trump said it, that he could probably turn New York. And getting to that point where people just had enough of the shit show. Like and subscribe.
Hopefully not have enough of ours.
Are finally starting. A lot of people that never voted, that's never really paid that much attention to any of this stuff, is starting to wake up, because it's starting to affect them or someone they know. Okay. And that's usually when people start getting involved, like this whole thing about, like what Rooftop was talking about in California, where it's $20 an hour. Okay. To work at Taco Bell or, Pizza Hut or whatever, and they're closing their businesses because you can't run a business when you can't sell one pizza for $50. Who can afford to go in and buy a pizza for $50?
Yep.
Very few people. So when you cut your audience in half, that's half the amount of money you're going to be bringing in. And, not everybody Gavin Newsom can afford it.
The the last time I went to Taco Bell, I don't think it would have made a difference if she was paid $20 or $17.
Well,
But the girl in the drive-throughs, what must have been filming my credit debit card and stole my credit card. I haven't been to Taco Bell since.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I went to a restaurant. And I was like, decline. I was like, what? And I saw them. I didn't even know the existence of a company called Instacart where you can order things. But yeah, they traced it back. The girl quit the next day. But yeah, I haven't been to Taco Bell since. But yeah, the crime is just that she felt no shame. She was smiling. I remember exactly who it was, you know? So it's awful.
When my mom was sick and she had cancer, okay, and we were at the cancer hospital in Dallas, Texas, okay, and one of my other sisters and I were like tag teaming. We were taking turns staying for a week and sleeping in her room with her, you know, doing her showers, going down to the cafeteria and buying our food and everything because, you know, she's in the hospital doing all this stuff. And I remember I found out, I got a call from the bank. They said something about, did you buy this certain items? Because this is out of your normal realm to buy stuff online. Because I don't normally do that. And when I do buy stuff online, I go buy like $100 or $200 Visa card, and I use that. Okay, because then it doesn't take money from my account. It comes out of that little card, and that's all that's on there.
Smart.
So that's what I do online. But I got a phone call and they were saying someone was buying like nasty stuff from a sex websites, right? And I was like, no, I'm not buying any of that stuff. Where was it? And it come to find out they do it, you know, they prosecute the people when they find out who it was. The lady at the lunch room at the cancer hospital was stealing from people who are there with their families that are dying of cancer. And I was like, you gotta be kidding. I was shocked. I figured it was someone.
Janet, they have no shame. You know, they had my card and I was like, I'm trying to track the charges. And there's no way I could be in two places at the same time, right? And there are charges at some restaurant in Oakland, and then there's charges in Pahrump, Nevada. I mean, those two places are not next door to each other. And when the credit card company, whatever, debit card company calls to do the fraud detection, it's just awful. It's an inconvenience to the person. But like I said, Janet, they have no shame doing it. If they want to do that, they don't care, and they know that the soft on crime policies are in their favor.
That's so funny.
Okay, and now
sorry, I didn't mean to drift from the Harvey Weinstein thing.
No.
But I'm glad that corrections are happening.
That's what we want to happen. We want to
continue to argue, right?
And listen to look at what the people in the chat are saying, and they have a natural flow about whatever it is that we're talking about. That's what I like. I think that makes it a entertaining show, I think. But I might be wrong. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong. But the next thing I would like for us to talk about is this, because everybody in the South is definitely going to be putting up with this thing here very soon. So here we go. You guys know about the cicadas going to be invading, right?
Oh, yes. It's another 17 years have passed.
You probably don't have them in California, but we have them where I live. And it's going to be really bad because we have I think it's the 17-year ones and the 7-year ones. And every so often, or whatever it is, they come out of the ground at the same time in this spring. And what happens is they come out of the ground, they crawl up something and they shed their shell, and then they have their wings and everything. And then they go out, they fly around, find a mate, and then lay their eggs, and then they die. Okay. And it's like a 2 or 3 week thing where it's going to get really bad, but you're going to have hundreds of thousands of these things in your yard and your back patio.
What's the issue? Is it the noise, or they bite you, or what?
It is the vibrations they give off.
They don't bite, but they live underground almost their whole lives as a grub. Okay. And eat roots and things like that. But I'm going to play this little thing from CBS News real quick. Oops.
Spring is here, and soon the cicadas will be too. More than 1 trillion of the loud insects will swarm parts of the U.S. later this month. 2 different cicada broods will simultaneously emerge from the ground for the first time since, get this, 1803. In all, about 16 states in the central and eastern U.S. will be filled with the sound of cicadas. For more, we are joined now by Dr. Sammy Ramsey. He studies all things insects at the University of Colorado Boulder. It's good to have you with us, Dr. Ramsey. So it's
absolutely great to be here.
This is a rare double occurrence. Are you excited about this event? What will happen when all these insects emerge?
Oh, I could not be more excited about this event. I mean, this hasn't happened since before the telegraph was invented, like before light bulbs were a thing. Now we've got smartphones. It's a different world. And I think it's going to be such an exciting experience.
Well, tell us what regions will be most heavily impacted.
So I've been seeing a lot online. People have been saying that these cicadas are going to swarm the entirety of the United States, and that's not the case at all. It'll be somewhere between 15 and 17 states that get to see any of the cicadas, and usually they'll just see one of the two broods. So brood 13 and brood 19 are coming out of the ground. But there's only really just 2 states where we'll see both cicada broods at the same time. They're going to get a double whammy. And you can believe I will be traveling to either Iowa or Illinois to get to see this in person.
Oh, Iowa has wonderful cicadas, and that brings up a good point, because some people like me actually love the sounds of cicadas. I associate them with carefree childhood summer days. It sounds like you're pretty excited about them. I remember playing with their exoskeletons. Other people I know are creeped out that we're even talking about this at all. So how should people prepare? Is this something you can prepare for?
It's not something that you need to prepare for. And by the way, I'm really excited to have another cicada fan interviewing me, because usually the language that comes along with this is very panic-inducing. People are told they're going to be swarmed by cicadas, that it's going to be an invasion. I've even heard cicada apocalypse used, but they're just not like that. These bugs are coming out of the ground. They've spent 17 years under the ground, just consistently waiting for this moment so that they can come above ground and sing this beautiful love song to attract a mate. At the end of the day, I like to think of it sort of like a rave. There's going to be loud music and hormonal teenagers, but at the end of the day, things are fine.
And loud, they certainly are. We just showed our viewers a graphic. I think it's so interesting if you compare the sound of cicadas to the sound of things like a jet engine or a police siren. They're actually louder than a police siren and just a little bit quieter than a jet plane. How do they make that much noise?
So they don't actually make the noise the way that a lot of insects make noise. When we think about crickets and katydids making the noises that they make, they're actually rubbing 2 parts of their bodies together. But the ways that cicadas actually make this noise, they have an organ inside of their body that they deform. You know, like the cap on a applesauce or Snapple or something, it makes that popping noise when you deform it. They're doing that, but at such a rapid rate that it creates this swell of noise all around them. And even though they're much smaller than a jet engine, if you could bring them up to similar size, they would be able to rival that noise. And so having all of them together really creates this entire symphony.
I love how fascinating you have brought all this wonderful information to us. Dr. Sammy Ramsey, thank you.
I mean, I can already see Sci-Fi Channel making a freaking cicada movie about this shit, and it's gonna be nothing but people getting sliced up from windows shattering and whatnot.
Yeah, right. But what's so weird is I lived in Texas between 1970 and 1980. Or is it 1980? Shit, 1980 or 1990? 1990. Never mind. Well, whatever. And I've been in the South a long time before. Like, yeah, pre-1990, I was always in the South, California, Texas, especially Texas, and every year was cicadas. Every year was a brood.
Yeah,
so
you get them, just not in these numbers.
But they were a lot, and it's part. To me, it's the summer song, it's a spring song. It's nice.
Yeah, me too.
You hear them. You hear them.
I've heard it forever. You know, almost half my life.
Yeah, you hear them. I hear them. So the fact that people are going to freak out about this is funny to me.
A lot of the science people that are into insects and stuff, they're excited because this hasn't happened since 1803. Okay, right. That's a long time. I can understand why they're excited about it, especially the area they're going to be swarming to, the area where both breeds are going to be coming up out of the ground. You just wait and see. But the thing is, what I've been hearing about is a lot of people talking about regular people that are into the whole natural stuff, wanting to eat insects and earthworms. They eat earthworms and they make cookies. They do all these different stuff by taking these insects and worms and crushing them and then making like flour and then cooking them, using them for like breading and all kinds of stuff. So what I'm worried about is that we're going to have a bunch of these lab companies collecting these thousands and thousands and millions of cicadas, and who knows what they're going to end up on. Remember, what was it about 10 shows ago, we talked about Kentucky Fried Chicken using certain stuff in some of their breading for with crickets or whatever it was for some of their chicken. So I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen with this cicada thing. I think someone's going to end up going in and scooping up millions of them and trying something out with it, because then they can breed them and do it and eat it to us. So.
Yes, bugs are good sources of certain proteins and whatnot. I still don't recommend eating them and all that shit unless you are a fucking survivalist and your body is able to handle that sort of stuff.
You will eat the bugs and
my dad, you gotta remember, my dad was jungle survival, so I've eaten black ants, I've eaten crickets, I've eaten all kinds of weird critters and stuff, snake, I've had bat, I've even eaten dog when we lived in the Philippines. Yeah, that's what they sound like. But I've eaten a lot of different weirds, the cattails, the green things that grow on the lakes, all kinds of fiddleheads, dandelion greens. I mean, I've eaten tons of this stuff, okay, growing up. But it wasn't the government saying you will eat it, okay? This was a whole thing of outdoor adventure stuff that I did with my dad, okay? And I didn't die. I lived healthy. But the thing is that it should be a person's choice what they want to eat. As long as they're not feeding their kids poison or, rat poison or, I don't know, stuff we know is bad. I think a family should be able to eat whatever it is they want. I mean, I don't.
No. I just have a feeling right now you're going to have people. Wait, you're going to have, oh my God. Don't do this, please. But you're going to look it up. Okay. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, especially TikTok, we're all idiots. You're gonna have people you're gonna be like, I'm gonna eat the cicada online.
I bet they will. I bet you're gonna see all kinds of weird shit like that. But the thing is, that's just what people do. People like to do weird shit. I mean, look at the Tide Pod eaters. I'm
gonna put this cicada.
What about that TV show where they took that little midget guy and they glued him to that guy's chest? What was the name? Jackass or whatever.
Jackass.
Okay, so I'm just saying, anything that they think they're going to make a quick buck, they're going to try it. But the thing is, I just think it's funny because of the big thing that people are freaking out over this. And I grew up around them. I grew up seeing them all up.
Cicadas don't seem like the worst
the apocalypse.
I remember picking up those little skins and taking them in the house and hanging them all over the shower curtain, and my mom would get all sick, and stuff like that, because that's just normal stuff to me.
Yeah, and I've had a fried scorpion from a street vendor in Hong Kong on a stick with some sweet sauce on it. It was great. The only thing that really grosses me is not even a living, moving animal insect thing. It's this fruit called a durian that they grow in Southeast Asia.
Oh, those things!
It's like skunk fruit, I can describe the texture as rotting alien brains. It's awful. Mom and Dad thought it was cute, but dare me to eat some.
Fucking terrible.
They have signs like you don't bring them on buses and elevators and hotels in Southeast Asia. It's awful, but
it's also known as the riot fruit because if you freaking bring it in public, you're going to cause a riot.
No way, really?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, somebody did bring that on a fucking. Somebody brought it on a fucking train one time, and people just fucking. It's like they crack. They act now. It only works once you crack it open. I mean, when it's when it's not freaking cracked open, it has a small smell emanating. The second you crack that fucker,
it's pungent. Let's put it that way.
It's like a freaking skunk explodes. And damn it,
disgusting to me.
There's only one animal in the world that absolutely loves durian, and that's an orangutan.
Oh, really? That's
they love them.
At least someone loves them, because I don't.
They're a health food. They're healthy. It's just that they stink. You have to literally put.
Here's the other thing that I
it's hard
thought
to get
was
over the smell.
Yeah.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Okay. About scientists created a black hole in a unique lab experiment, and then it started to glow. And I thought this was really interesting because they're doing all these things and they don't tell anyone about it till after they did it. You know what I mean? And people were making all that stink about that one lab doing the God particle stuff, and
it's fine.
saying that the clouds are going to open up.
CERN's not a problem.
So the thing is that as far as I know, we've been having science experiments of some sort around the world since, before I was even born. They were doing weird shit. So the thing is that they're going to keep doing it. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. But the best thing is for us is that we are told about it. As long as we know about it and we can research it or look into it, different things like that, I think we're better off if we're interested enough to actually look things up, and read about them, because I just think it's awesome. But I just thought this was really cool when I was reading about it. It just shows some of these interesting things that what happened with this black hole that they created, and how come there's no light, and how it's so super bright right around the corners or around the edges of it before it goes into the black hole. It might be because it's so dark. I don't know. But I just think all this kind of stuff is really interesting. And I wish more children were able to, experience this type of stuff, like Odyssey of the Mind. I don't know if any of you guys got to do that when you were in school. Do you remember that? Any of you? Okay. So, it's not a lot of kids get to be involved in those types of things, but I wish that more kids could be, you know what I mean? So many parents don't try to get their child involved in science. I remember my dad would buy me science kits, okay, and it would have all kinds of stuff where you could make the volcano out of paper mache, and you'd pour the baking soda in there, and then you pour vinegar in and a little bit of food color, and it would come up and bubble over the sides and stuff. All kinds of fun stuff I get to do like that with my dad. But I just thought this was really interesting, and I was shocked that I hadn't read anybody freaking out that we were going to all die because we're going to be sucked into a black hole because it was created in a laboratory or something. Now, somebody might write a script about it or whatever and decide to do it. But I just thought this was interesting. And I'm going to share the link to this, and I want to share it in the
because again, there's a black hole in the center of our galaxy. The black holes are very, very common. There are, because again, you can even say there is a theoretical black hole at the center of Earth, in the sense that basically you have all of the material somehow coalesce and goes around the area. And what you saw there is basically the event horizon of the black hole, and it evaporates very quickly, and that's when you see the light and the pop happen. It's it's fascinating. I love the science aspect of it.
Yeah, me too. I do too. I love watching documentaries, about volcanoes or earthquakes or anything to do with outer space. Because I just think it's important for us to understand where we come from, because we're basically, I feel, made up of particles that came from all over the place that just collided into our planet.
What happened?
And then over time, different animals evolved and things like that. And that's what I believe. I mean, I don't know who started the big spark, but I think it was God. The Big Bang is what God started all of it. And he knew what he was doing, and it's slowly, we're getting farther and farther apart from each other as it expands. And that's why I just think it's interesting, and I wish more people hear enough about it. But so many people think that if you believe in science, you can't believe in God. And I'm like, that's bullshit.
We want to be inclusive, and all holes matter, but specifically black holes, and the sci-fi films based on them. Have you guys seen the movie The Black Hole? Like back in the day with the Maximilian or Event Horizon?
Yeah,
like a
Event
horror
Horizon.
movie
I
in space.
love that movie.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
You hear about all these other planets, but like Neptune gets kind of overlooked. But Event Horizon went there. I thought it was great. Good acting. I'll shut up now. Sorry, Janet.
No, go ahead. That's what I want. I want you to talk about things that you think are interesting, because to me, it's important that kids get to have hands-on experience with things like that. I remember getting to go to a big when we were in Hawaii, getting to go to the giant thing where they had the giant telescope, and they show us how it worked and how they use mirrors and all the different things, and how they have to keep everything so clean and dust free. And it's just interesting.
You went on top of Mauna Kea? Cool.
Well, I only got to go up there because, you know, my dad was in the military, and certain things and certain people were able to go up there for career day, and you know, to see if you were interested in maybe doing
That's
those
the best
things.
take your daughter to work day ever, right?
Well, I didn't get to go with my dad. He wasn't there, but one of his friends was able to take me, so I was lucky. But that's what I'm saying. It's sad that so few people can get to do something like that because they don't have the means to do it. And that one kid that's not get to go might be the one person that comes up with some, you know, miraculous invention simply because their mind sparks something, because they saw something. And if they never see it, how do we know what we're missing out on? And that's why I think every child should be exposed to science, you know, in some form, to learn how things work.
Yep.
And I don't know, getting to go outside and watching ants pick stuff up and take it back to their, you know, anthill and things like that. It's all important, I think, because we all go together. You know what I mean? It's all of us is what creates the earth. You know.
I'm glad you got to do a paper mache volcano and simulate an eruption. Those were fun.
Yeah, I got to do that. I got to do lots of things, and it was just great. And then I'd catch other kids taking the magnifying glass and burning all the ants and things like that. So you're going to have those kids, and then you're going to have the ones that actually want to, you know, learn something. But I think all parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever you are, even if you volunteer, you know, to be like a scout leader or help at the school at lunch or stuff like that, talk to kids about it. And see what they are interested in. Find out things, and volunteer supplies. That's a lot of things that some of these kids don't get to do it because their school just can't afford the extra stuff to build the volcano. You know what I mean? But how much fun is that to get with a group of like second graders and then take some pillows, you know, big pillows, and push the middle part down in, and then you cover it with paper mache to make it shape like a giant volcano, and then they paint it and stuff and put trees around it and stuff to make it look like a volcano on an island. Then you put the chemicals in and they get to watch it erupt. Just things like that. It opens their imagination, and then they start looking at everything differently. They start realizing how one thing happening causes this other thing to happen. Things like that.
There's a volcano erupting on Antarctica right now too.
Yeah, there was a couple of them going off here and there.
Yeah.
I have
shit! Somebody found the frickin' pyramid down there again. God damn.
No. But the one that's it's basically it's erupting in Antarctica, and it's spewing gold.
How do you know that? Have they been able to capture some of the air?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
We have a new California gold rush, except it's in Antarctica. The Antarctic gold rush.
There we go. I'm not going to Antarctica. You touch the water, hypothermia.
It's spewing about
dead in a second, or
60 or 80 grams of gold a day.
Well, the thing is, you can put apps on your phone right now that are free so that you can track all the earthquakes and tsunamis and volcanoes right now. You can get that, put that on your phone or your iPad or your computer, and you can get updates every day depending on what you're interested in.
Well, you're very close. Aren't you very close to New Madrid?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Mount Etna in Sicily erupted not too long ago. It was a beautiful eruption. People got to enjoy the scenery of that. And then when I was growing up, it was mostly Kilauea and Mount St. Helens. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I remember Mount St. Helens. That was really scary.
What year was that? 86?
something like that. My parents went to
Related.
Washington on vacation.
I was only a year old, so I couldn't appreciate it.
I remember I was so
You're
excited
a little
about
too
it
young for St. Helens. But
because
you've heard of Kilauea and Krakatoa and all the
Krakatoa. None of us were alive for that one. And nobody in the surrounding area was alive when it happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, there's a lot of ancient volcanoes. Vesuvius.
Disagree on what there, Bob? Or what was funny?
Oh, it was in
the
1980.
Antarctic gold rush.
Wow. See,
well, then I was -5 years old. I wasn't even an itch in my daddy's left nut.
So you weren't even around.
Well, how long? It's still
you heard the name
in some areas, isn't it? Where the volcano erupted. I mean, it took out.
St. Helens is active right now. She's stirring in her sleep right now. The next
I'm talking about
big fucking eruption.
Were you alive for Dante's Peak? The movie?
All the burning.
Of course I was. I love that movie.
Ash that landed on the ground and it touched everything. Didn't it burn up the whole like woods and everything? Isn't all that still devastated looking, or is it finally growing back?
It's growing back.
Okay.
Volcanic ash,
it's
extremely nourishable.
Yeah, right up. Yeah, it's very ash is good. But again, right above Arkansas in Missouri, New Madrid, that's the location of the greatest earthquake in America history, 1811, 1812, the great earthquakes that occurred there. So
I thought it was in Yellowstone.
No, that's the caldera. That's the super volcano, not earthquake.
Yeah.
It's there's a difference.
Oh, earthquake. I was thinking volcano for some reason because that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But again, you said apps of earthquakes and all that stuff. That's why I brought it up. So the idea that
But you can get those on the phone.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's all good stuff.
So I thought that was interesting. And so we'll go right from that, because this is also nature. I thought it was interesting because of what has been going on today. Everybody's been watching all the tornadoes, and stuff. So this is coming right here. This is a forecast, and this is what's going on. I'm going to play this video real quick. Hold on.
Bring it on, tornado.
Because you know what? I live in Tornado Alley, so who knows what's going to happen.
Got insurance?
Oh, yeah, I got insurance. I don't have a storm insurance, but I do have a full basement.
Zeus. I love it.
For tomorrow.
They can be quite photogenic.
Welcome to the Tornado Alley Samba.
Yeah, it's pretty music. I kind of like it. Very, very, I don't know, nice. I liked it. I thought it was great. But the thing is that I'm used to it. I hear the siren go off and go to the basement. It's just something you get used to. But a lot of people,
you listen to the government. You listen to what the government tells you to do.
Well, they have the tools that I don't. I can get a thing on my phone that says that we have a severe thunderstorm warning or whatever else, and I can sit and watch it on TV. Now, YouTube has a couple of really cool channels. I wish I remember the guy's name, but they have a couple guys that work together, and they have spotters that go out and do stuff. And they all work together because they love watching.
I think they'd be live right now.
So
I think I know one of them, Brandon Kopic, Copic. I think he's pretty good.
I think that's him. But the thing is that we had some really bad ones last year, and here it comes again. We're almost ready for.
They can be exhilarating and scary and exciting, and I mean, it spawned so many amateur storm chasers. Especially after Twister and a lot of the documentaries. And
you ever
See,
or
that's
you
all
guys were
science
around in
too.
2012, right?
Yeah.
When the big motherfucker went through Oklahoma, the 2.1 mile wide tornado.
I think I remember that. There was another
that
one
wide at the base. That's amazing.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it went
people,
through
or
it.
there were storm
Devastated.
chasers that are like, there. Even if we call them, there's no chance that they're going to live through that. I mean, that is the biggest tornado in living record currently.
Yeah, it was wide. It was big. But what's so interesting to me, remember I showed it that one day on the shit show, was that house that got hit by the tornado and the baby was uninjured.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Scratches, but
Landed
its
in
crib was like wrapped all around that tree. It was
Yeah.
like a miracle. I mean, I was like, it's amazing how things like that work. And you can see things like a plastic straw that go right through a tree, stuff like that. It's freaking unknown how some of this can happen in a storm like that. I mean, it's just God's amazing the way he made this planet to be able to constantly renew itself when you think about it. It picks water up from one place and puts it somewhere else. It makes mountains move by using the volcanoes and the earthquakes and stuff. It's just constantly, our shell is constantly moving all the time, and our clouds are going around and changing the landscape with rain and melting icebergs and things like that. It just, I don't know. I just think that, and then I watch Rooftop post all these beautiful, magnificent pictures of beautiful scenery in the wild, and it's just, I don't know. I just wish more people could go outside and enjoy the beauty of something that you can't even paint. You can't paint anything that is beautiful as what we have right outside our doors. Nature, I think.
There's a picture of a tornado that its funnel was kind of shaped like a human phallus, shall we say? And somebody put the caption on the bottom. Somebody is royally, or somebody is, or you're fucked. Essentially, God is about to fuck you.
I haven't seen that one, but yeah, I can see it. I've seen water spouts.
Was it this tornado season, Orange Hat, or previous one?
No, this is years old. It was just a picture. I think it was slightly edited to make the base kind of give the tip of a head or of a dick to make it look like a dick and whatnot. And it's like, no matter what you do, you're fucked. It's like,
well, that does happen. But see, for years when I was real active in the Junior Chamber of Commerce, that's what we would do. We would, get food boxes together and take them to the people that were, without power or had lost the roof, or trees that fell on their home and things like that, and try to help them. And once they were rebuilding, then we would go and we try to get stuff donated, like a new refrigerator, a new stove, things like that, to replace the things they lost. Now, we couldn't do it for everyone, but we did it. We tried to find the most needy people and do stuff.
Soy-based, that explains everything. I'm sorry.
I always tried to do that stuff. I couldn't help it. I mean, I love it. I think community service is one of the best things that we can do for anyone.
She works the polls, community service.
Yeah, you don't have to be in a church either.
She works the polls, all right.
Have to go to church to do community service for people, that are in need. And you know me though, if the first people that I want to help is going to be the veterans. Okay, I'm a huge believer in helping our veterans before we help illegal people that come over the border and give them handouts. Okay, our veterans already served their time and they deserve to be treated as with dignity, a place to live, and a full stomach, and be able to sleep on a bed, things like that. Have a hot bath or a hot shower and have some clean clothes to put on.
Those handouts and jobs. What?
Yeah, and jobs, if they need a job or they just need medical care or whatever it is. I really wish that we would pay it back, I'm a firm believer in that myself. Okay, well, here's another subject that I want to talk about that I think is really important especially for people that are planning on doing summer vacations this year. Well, you should be paying attention to if you're going to be flying. You might be on one of these planes. It's the whistleblower who's warning about the 787 Dreamliners that are falling apart in midair. So here we go. I'm going to open this up.
What?
Here. So here we
The
go.
Financial Times out with a new op-ed titled "The Great American Transport Crisis." But my next guest says it's not quite as simple as it appears. Joining me now, FreightWaves founder and CEO Craig Fuller. And Craig, so I mean, it's hard to not argue with that, right? And it's so interesting because we had a gargantuan infrastructure bill not long ago. We know that we always have a C or D rating on all of our bridges. That never seems to go away. So what's going on? Why all of a sudden, though, is it one of these things? I mean, obviously the Key Bridge plays a role in this, but all of a sudden it feels like it's an emergency and something maybe we won't be able to overcome.
Well, I think a lot of this is largely due to what consumers experienced back in COVID. I mean, pre-COVID, most people didn't even know what a supply chain was or ever heard of it. In fact, the president himself said, "Can you even describe or define what a supply chain was?" Just a couple of years ago. So I think what's happened is consumers are hypersensitive to supply chains. Businesses have been exposed to supply chain vulnerabilities. And frankly, they've always been there, but now because it's being covered in ways that we've not seen in the past, all of a sudden people are hyper vigilant and concerned about what this all means.
So I was reading one of your notes, and it says that our manufacturing sector is optimized for costs. Our supply chain is optimized for speed, and that's led us to outsourcing manufacturing and creating extreme lean. And that's great in almost every business, right? That leanness, that quickness, the ability to be nimble, but maybe not so much when it comes to infrastructure.
No, unfortunately, for over 50 years, we had very little investment. Congress was not fitting the bill for infrastructure. We had the largest infrastructure bill just a couple of years ago that was ever, introduced in the United States. And we are now seeing some investment in infrastructure, but we're talking about decades of delays and decades of a lack of investment. And frankly, there's parts of the supply chain and parts of the transportation ecosystem that are way underinvested. Particularly our ports. Our ports need significant amounts of investment. And this is something that I think everyone is sort of focused on in supply chain.
Yeah, and to your point, it's we're smart about it, then we can, mitigate the sort of things that we went through during the crisis. So we had the infrastructure bill. Then there was that famous, infamous, if you will, depending, I guess, the side of the political aisle, where the old CEO of GE was sitting with President Obama, and they they kind of both joked that, nothing really happened, in part because of bureaucracy and things like that. And then parallel to this, we've got what's happening at Boeing, which is becoming a crazy joke. It's like I flew down to Miami last night, and the plane was an hour late because they found something, right? It's a sort of anxiety. Boeing was seen as one of the greatest companies in the entire world. It's got this magnificent marketplace with only one real global competitor, and it feels like they're blowing it. I mean, how do you blow this? And is it part, do we say it's part of American exceptionalism fading away?
I think a lot of it is that Boeing's become complacent. I mean, as you mentioned, there's only one major competitor. It's in Europe. Boeing is not just funded by the airlines, but one of its largest line items is from military spending and space spending and government spending. And so we should have accountability as taxpayers over Boeing, but we should also encourage new investments and developments. And that means looking at the FAA, who has an incredibly slow process for approval of technologies, and just overhauling a lot of the regulatory regime. They need to step up and get their act together to move quicker and faster so that we can have more innovation. I mean, ultimately, this problem, building airplanes is a very expensive proposition.
Right.
We are going to lose that to China, and China is coming on strong with the COMAC product that's going to compete with Boeing on a global level. We need innovation, and unfortunately, Boeing's problems are very, very institutionally driven. What we need is innovation coming from new parts of the aviation ecosystem, and frankly, all parts of the transportation system.
Hey, I got 30 seconds. Just quickly, anecdotally, from freight traffic and things like that. How do you see the economy? What direction are we moving right now?
You know, the freight economy, if you look at volumes, are pretty strong. And this sort of seems like a dichotomy when we talk about the softness in the freight market. The problem with the freight market is we have way too much capacity that we added during the COVID crisis. And frankly, that's what the industry is dealing with, is we have not seen enough entrants leave the industry. The industry just flooded with excess capacity.
All right. Hey, Craig, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Carol, thanks for having me.
Well, there you go. The thing is that when you have a government, okay, that will bring in Boeing, right, to build a bunch of things for them because they want to bomb Russia or whatever it is and help Ukraine or whatever, and they're willing to pay them 10 times more than what it's worth to get stuff, Boeing doesn't give a shit. You know, because they're getting all the money they want. They don't have to worry about it. I saw someone, I think it was in Congress, and they were holding up a bag, and it was like little round, not nuts, but they're like washers. And he was saying something about these are used to build a certain product he was talking about. And he said, but guess how much we paid for this bag that I could probably go to Lowe's or one of these other places and buy it for under $100, this bag of these. Okay, but guess how much we paid for it? $900. And that was just a bag, a little bag that he was holding. So when you think about it in terms like you and I running our household, that we got to go buy some stuff because we need to fix 2 of our toilets and maybe we got a couple leaky pipes, you know, and we have to go buy this stuff. We're going to look for the best deal that we can get. Well, why does our government not do that? Why does our government just pick someone and to make a big contract for 10, 20 years or whatever, and just pay them enormous amounts of money? You know why? Because they have a wallet that never empties, because you and I go to work every day and they take part of our check and they just take it away and they spend it on whatever bullshit that they think is necessary. They don't have any lines drawn saying, well, we can't spend over this amount of money. That's why I'm lucky. I moved to a state. It has a balanced budget amendment. They have to balance the budget, period. They have to stay within their boundary of how much money they're allowed to spend and waste. So they're a little more careful about whether they get these roads done or they do this or that, because they have a checkbook that they're only allowed so much money in. Now, if we could somehow figure out how to do that with the federal government, I mean, I just don't understand how they think that we can just, how many more years can we spend ourselves into oblivion before somebody says we want our money?
4 more years. Pause. Just kidding.
You know what I mean, though? I mean, how far can we go before we can't afford it anymore? I mean, to me, I think we're way past that point already. Billions and trillions of dollars. People can't even imagine how much money that is, because they have an open pit and it's filled with money by us sweating our ass off, going to work, trying to pay our little bit of meals and buying the cheapest stuff we can at the grocery store to feed ourselves. But they're going out and eating like what Rooftop would always say, how Gavin Newsom goes to all these exclusive restaurants and shit, even during COVID. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not wearing masks, just doing whatever the fuck he wants, because he doesn't have to worry about where the money comes from.
Right.
So if we had to make our federal government start worrying about every dime that they spent, then maybe we would be able to control some of this shit. I mean, they're not spending the money where they said they were. We've got bridges falling apart. We've got buildings falling apart. We've got planes, you know, military planes and tanks and everything going places that are falling apart. We can't even keep up with the guns and the ammo and things like that. I guarantee you could go to people's homes, and farmers that take care of their own tractors and shit are in better shape than half the stuff on this military base over here. If somebody was to go in unbiased and do inspections, and we're spending trillions and trillions of dollars on all this shit. So, you know, how do we fix that? You know, how do we as normal American citizens take back our spending and make the government not spend all this money? I mean, besides, what I always fall back to, starting at your local town.
Work those polls.
starting at work the polls, because you got to make sure it's legal, that it's fair. Because if I'm sitting in that chair, I guarantee everything that goes across in front of me is going to be fair. I'm not going to write on the ballot. And if anybody sitting around me starts writing on someone else's ballot, I'm going to be the first one to be the whistleblower and say, hey, this person should be arrested. They're doing this or that or whatever they're not supposed to be doing. Because, I actually listened to what I was told, what the rules were when I'm going to do that kind of a job. And if more people would step up and do that, we would have fair elections. It'd be harder for people to get away with cheating. So
you're part of you are when your town, you're part of they know you there. They know you're going to be working the polls. So that's what I'm saying. So that no one's going to pull shenanigans on you.
Well, hopefully, or they're going to make sure I have poison coffee or something. I don't know. I mean, it's scary to think about it.
Janet, don't give the haters any ideas. Stay safe.
You know what I mean.
I guess you're going to skip coffee for a while.
Well, I don't drink that much coffee. I drink a half a cup in the morning, if that, and that's it. Because I get nauseous if I drink too much. Doesn't that sound terrible? But my allergies have just gotten worse and worse.
Government spending, and they don't care. They don't care. It's like they print money. It's unlimited money. It's taxpayers' money. And if you've noticed, Governor Hairgel Gavin Newsom always eats with his backers, right? Whether for whatever industry. He wasn't there. It's just some random person's birthday party at the French Laundry, without a mask.
That's what it was. I was trying
to remember. There were people that contribute. I mean, he hooks people back up like Panera Bread. That's a supporter of Gavin Newsom. So let's work around the $20 minimum wage thing for them, or his company. So there's so much corruption. You try to root it out on the local level if you can, Janet. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be headed in and out in a few minutes. Sorry, I got it. And I won't have my backers paying for my double-double.
But the thing is that all of us have to take back our towns. We've got to take our towns back. And once we start taking back our towns by running for office in your own town, for whatever it is, or start going. How about this? Just start going to your city council meetings and see what your city council is spending your money on. I mean, you'll be surprised. I've been surprised a few times going to meetings, finding out that they were wanting to raise money because they wanted to put in a dog park. And then we had this other guy over here and he says, hey, you guys annexed our land 10 years ago and we're still waiting for water and some other things that you keep saying you're going to give us. But now you want to spend money on a dog park? That kind of thing. And that's the things that you don't know about because you're not going to any of the meetings. So get with your church group or your bowling league or your softball team or whatever it is that your sewing group and say, hey, let's take this week and we're going to go to the, our city council meeting and see what stuff's going on. See if there's stuff that we don't know anything about and find out about it. I mean, there's little things that you can do to try to get your foot in the door and at least start recognizing people's faces and stuff. It can help. You never know. And guess what? You might even get the bug to say, hey, you know what? I think I can do this. I think I can run for city council, or something, or something for your schools or, some other organization in your town where you can start making some changes on things that you believe need to be done. And the only way to do that is to become, active in your city or your town. So are you going to say something, Orange Hat? I thought you were.
Yes. After this conversation, I wanted to pick up on doodle. If we're close to closing, I wanted to close on the high note of the Tennessee law topic.
Okay. Do you have an article for that?
No article needed. I can do a quick explanation.
All right. Well, go for it.
So there is an article that is, folks, it is so great to be a Tennessean right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee passed a law that liberals are freaking out over, that teachers are allowed to carry guns and arm themselves to protect their students.
Awesome.
And now people are saying, well, this is just going to lead to more violence and whatnot. And it's like, it's not like they are just going to give these people guns. There are several stipulations like training certification, mental background. All of that has to be done before they even, or not to mention, you also need the school administrators and whatnot to to give the green light on it as well. But all these idiots are freaking out because it's like, more guns are not going to solve the problems. Actually, I beg to differ. Because if you say, or in my opinion, more guns is actually the perfect solution. And here is why. Take a gun-free zone. Make sure that you are in a town without guns. You have taken away the guns. All right. All the law-abiding citizens don't have guns. If I was so inclined, hypothetical, folks, this is a hypothetical. I'm not ever going to actually do this in real life. I would, or if I had if I had been slighted and I was mentally unbalanced, I wouldn't give a fuck about those laws, about the no gun laws. I would already make my way to the school because I would want to inflict maximum damage, meaning not just physical damage, but also mental damage. You see, killing kids is also a critical mentally damaging thing when it comes to parents because it is the unthinkable happening. If I was unbalanced and all of that and somebody slighted me, well, I wouldn't care if the law said you're not allowed to bring guns into this town or whatever, because you are now open and helpless to prevent it. You have just basically made yourselves easy targets, fish in a barrel, and all those other cliches that they say. Because if I wanted to do damage, I would make sure to inflict the most damage on you for being stupid. Because you allowed it to happen through the stupidity of getting rid of guns and wanting guns to be gone. By allowing teachers to protect your children, by having the option to have a weapon, and believe me, it would be locked in a drawer and it would have a trigger guard and a trigger lock on it so that teachers or so that any students who tried doing something stupid couldn't. And believe it or not, I'm pretty sure there are stipulations that if a student tries to grab a teacher's gun, they would be automatically expelled. So I'm pretty sure that Tennessee thought all of this through when they passed the law. So all these idiots out there saying, oh, more guns isn't gonna, or is only gonna make it worse. Apparently you didn't think it through, because you are the ones who are going to be the first victims if somebody who is not a law-abiding citizen decides to come calling with a firearm, because you are the easy pickings. You are the fish in the barrel. Now, again, I do clarify, I would never condone or even want to do something like that, because me personally, I don't own guns. I would like to maybe one day for personal home defense, but that's basically where I would go. I'm not a hunter. I can't hunt. I would prefer to go out and shoot nature with a camera instead of a gun. But if I do have to defend my household and stuff, I have no problems doing that. But yeah, good on Tennessee for passing this law. The fact that all these people did sit-ins in the Capitol building where they were playing dead, and because of the school, or because of that Catholic school in which a trans shooter with a manifesto that stated they wanted to kill Catholics and whites.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but people should be able to defend themselves. It is within our God-given rights to defend ourselves, and we should be allowed to do so with firearms. And also, I do believe full auto firearms should be legal as well, to be completely honest.
Especially on full auto Friday. Thanks, Orange Hat. And 100% agreement, man. Especially the people that are the gun-free zone wackos that want to advertise and have big signs saying, hey, we are a soft target, please come attack us. I think what Tennessee is doing is opposite of that. You're hardening the target. You're making so someone will have to think twice. Do I want to go in there? There's teachers that may be armed. And great idea. I want to give you a proof of concept from not too far recent history. When I was living in France about 10 years ago, some of the Jewish schools were starting to be attacked, and what they did is France stuck guys with machine guns and Belgian Malinois and German Shepherds in front of these schools and just hardened the target, and they cut that stuff out pretty much overnight, right? It was a visual symbol. It was basically telling people, you won't just find a soft target that you can just do as you will, and as long as people want to do violence, they will find a way. Guns, knives, whatever, armored bulldozers, whatever. Not to change the subject, but bravo, Tennessee. Good on you. Good on the people that thought things through, like you said, Orange Hat. And it's it'll be better for the kids. I feel safer. Not in California, but for the Tennessee.
It'll be a couple of years before we actually can get some statistics to prove that it made a difference. It's going to take a few years, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth waiting to get that information, because it will prove in the long run the difference. And if you pay attention, every so often you hear an article or somebody brings it up and tells you about it, how somebody was at a restaurant and someone came in and tried to shoot people, and someone with a gun took the person out, or in a church, or at a mall, or at a store, or somewhere else. The thing is, it happens a lot. I have seen quite a few, because I have relatives that are in Texas, and in Florida, in Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and in all four of those states, I've heard of stories about somebody stopping a shooter because they had a gun in their purse, or they had a gun on them on their hip, because they were at a restaurant, or they were walking in the mall, or whatever else, and they heard a shooter and they pulled their weapon and had to use it to save lives. But the thing is, you don't see that on the news, do you? The only time we see anything is when someone had a manifesto and they were going in with a automatic rifle and taking students out, or whatever it is that they decide to do, because they don't want to emphasize people saving other people by using a gun.
Defensive uses of guns, it doesn't fit the narrative. They don't want to push that. They always want to spin things a certain way. We know, we've seen it before, which hurts the cause, because when people think about things, it just makes sense. But they want you to repeat it.
And that's one of the things that I talk about a lot, is we need to bring back common sense. It really is a superpower, because so few people have it. At least it seems like it. But I think it's real important. And thank you very much for bringing that topic up. I forgot about it because it's not on my notes over here on the side. But I'd like to start trying to add a few good things that's going on in our country, because there is good things that are happening. It's just that it's a small amount. When there's mountains of other shit going on all around us, it makes it really hard to see it. But I want to say thank you to Orange Hat for, bringing that up and sharing it with us, because we need some good news once in a while. And I just want to thank all of you for joining me tonight, because I got to get up, tomorrow and finish a few things, and then I'm going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons all day.
You and your childish toys, woman.
I know. And then Sunday, we'll be watching Starship Troopers, I think, something like that.
Starship
Troopers. And then we're going to review
the most fascist movie you'll actually ever see.
So I haven't seen it before. So I'm excited.
Oh, you'll love it.
So tomorrow, while we're playing the game, I will get online and research costumes and stuff, so I can maybe come up with something. And then
put it this way. I'm sorry, but put it this way. The best costume you can have is a 1940s SS costume.
I don't have anything like that. So
because that's basically the costume theme in that movie.
It is. Actually,
that movie is so good. It's so rewatchable too. Do you all agree?
No, don't get me wrong. It's a great movie. It's just
I can't wait to see it. They seem excited about watching it.
It's going to hit you in the face, Janet. If you look at it from a political point of view, it's going to hit you so hard in the face.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. It was saying if we could get people like this to run our country, we get into all those problems really quick. With the Warriors, he said with the Warriors running everything, you'd be better off.
Janet,
this is what Bruce was telling me. So I don't know. I haven't seen the
we'll let you
Bruce,
watch the movie. And
does
I can't
not
wait to
fully
hear
realize the kind of government that movie has.
I can't wait to hear what you and Bruce discussed for
a
guy and a girl in the movie. Enjoy the movie.
All right, I will. I'll enjoy it.
Enjoy it. You'll laugh. You'll get some good laughs.
There's some good lines. I've rewatched that like every few years.
I saw when he showed the trailer part of it, and I saw the giant bugs. You know, I was like, oh, they're like praying mantis type creatures or whatever. So I thought it was interesting. So I can't wait to see it. That's what I'll be doing.
Definitely.
And then Monday night, I'm going to be joining Orange Hat on his show.
Yep, we are going to be talking about instead of politics, we are going to be talking about the other more dangerous influence in our country, which is Hollywood and its influence. Because everybody says that politics and legislation is shaping our culture, except that they don't realize that Hollywood has been shaping our culture for the worst, for the most part, for quite some time. So yes, I will, or that is going to be Monday night at the same time as we do the shit show.
Yeah, and Tuesday night I'm going to be joining. I don't know if you know him, but there's a gentleman by the name of Divisive Content. Is this the name on X? He's invited me to join a panel for Tuesday night. He's going to send me the stuff, so hopefully before the weekend's over, I can start putting that out with information about the show I'm going to be on, because it's on Kick and Rumble and X is where they're going to air it. And I will also be airing it on my channels. So I'm excited about that because that'll be fun. It's about something about, does playing video games make you a loser or something like that. So I'm excited about it. I'll have to, I get to dive into the nerddom again, which I enjoy. But Ruben, do you have anything planned coming up?
Right now, I'm just trying to just get my life back together. Like I said, continue the healing process. I'll be putting some videos out. I did do a video for the eclipse, but I haven't even done it yet. I've been too busy with, interviewing and all of the personal things going on. But I will be coming back. But I do videos here. I did do a video yesterday morning with the Front Porch Conservative. We do the SCOTUS review for the Trump's immunity. We did a 3-hour stream there, and I'll continue to do more content coming out soon. But follow me on X for I retweet a lot of stuff. I'm going to put a lot of things out there. But right now, I've been really concentrating on just healing and a job, and then my future. Just concentrating on that. So hopefully, God willing, next week I will be get one step closer to a job, and because I've been out of work since March of last year, so I've just been trying to find something. It's been really difficult. So just want to get my life back and then get everything moving forward in a positive direction. So that's where I must keep following me, and I'll be putting more content out shortly.
And I wanted to let everybody know that I have a email. It's called Friday Night Shit Show at Gmail. And I'm going to share that in the chat. So if you have any ideas or something you'd like us to specifically talk about or whatever, send me an email. I will respond. And I probably won't read them on the show because we didn't work out the way that I'd hoped when we suggested it before. But the thing is, I did get one this morning. And he was the one that was suggesting that we not be so doom and gloom, that maybe add some good, happier things, that, that it's not that bad, that it can get better. We just have to pray and, try to focus on the good stuff sometimes. So I thought, what the heck, why not? I sent the message out and I said, okay, let's see if we can find a few things that are lighter we could talk about instead of all doom and gloom. So, and then I started my own Patreon channel, since I'm not monetized on YouTube or Rumble or anything, or on X. So I thought I'd do that. And I was trying to figure it out because I don't know how to use it yet. I'm still working on it. But that if I can get like 20 people on there, that I will start doing private live streams over there. And I won't air it on anything else. And it'll just be there. And then I can bring people from the membership up to talk, and we can talk about whatever we want, listen to music or anything, because I won't have to worry about getting any copyright strikes or anything, because it'll be private and I won't air it to anyone. I don't want to see it except for the people that sign up for it. So, I'm trying to think of different things like that to do. And I do have a Discord, and I've been trying to get people to send me information on Discord of ideas or something that they think would be cool to do or try out or whatever. But until I get, some feedback, I can't really do anything different. I'm just being me and doing what I want to do. But if somebody has a suggestion, it would be nice, to hear from them. So Rooftop, do you have any plans going on? Anything
yeah. No, I really appreciate you letting me come on the panel today. Really nice meeting you, Ruben, and Orange Hat. Yeah, I don't really do too much on X these days. I do tweet, but I'm not really trying to grow my following or doing much of a content creation. You helped me co-host a long time ago, the Aloha Snack Bar Rapid Fire Friday comedy space, but I don't know if I'm going to bring that back, but I will look forward to supporting all of y'all's spaces and your content creation, because it's fun. Just, sometimes you like to create stuff. Sometimes you like to listen and watch what other people are doing. So I appreciate all the work you guys have been putting in. And thank you again for letting me speak tonight.
I'm so glad you were able to help and hang out with us, because it's good. I love getting different people's perspectives on things. And it's fun. It's fun to talk about ways to maybe fix problems that we have, or bring up problems that other people don't know we have, so that they know about it and that maybe they can do something about it. Because the more people have facts, the better chance that we're going to be able to find ways to fix it, right? If we don't know that we even have a problem, how can we possibly fix it? You know what I mean? So to me, that this is the way. This is the way. Even though still got a strike against my channel, because I had it taken down for almost 3 weeks, and but I still have a strike until June 2nd. So I'm going to try not to do something that YouTube absolutely hates me for. I'm going to do the best I can, but I can't help it. I'm very passionate about when it comes to our veterans. I'm very passionate about children, and anything to do with any of those things that's pisses me off. That's what gets me in trouble, and I can't help it. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm not monetized, so I don't want to lose my channel, though, because if I lose my channel, then I won't be Janet from Another Planet. I won't be able to get that name back. So I don't want to risk losing that, because I really like it, because my real name is Janet.
Who has stolen your name, madam?
Well, the thing is that I want to keep it, and I'm not going to quit speaking out. That's why I love spaces so much. I do spaces a lot, because I'm able to voice what I feel and share information, talk about things that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. So, if I wish YouTube was more fair when it came to that, about being able to say things that you believe or share facts. Because
it is a Google product, Janet.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm thankful that I have Rumble, and I'm trying to grow my channel over there, which is Janet's Universe over there on Rumble. And I'm trying to learn how to go live on LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff like that, but all separate. Just like after we're done here, I'll have to go turn off my my Rumble, because it's separate. They don't let you do these together, because this company that runs YouTube or whatever, Google and any of those people, they don't want to share the limelight with anyone else. So you have to figure out other ways to sneak it in there and be able to run it. And it's not as easy as a lot of people think. Doing all this stuff it's been really hard for me, and I'm not a blonde, but it's tough.
Well, thanks for doing it, Janet. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate all of you, and I've met some wonderful friends on X and on YouTube, and I've had friends like with Ruben and Orange Hat for for years now. And I'm thankful for that. And if I hadn't adventured into doing live streams and stuff, I never would have met them. So, you know, I was afraid because, you know, I just didn't know what to think. And I've had death threats and I've had all kinds of stupid shit happen. Yeah, I've had people say, Janet, you need to go to another planet and commit suicide. I've had people say that they were going to be waiting for me and they were going to slit my throat in my sleep. Just all kinds of nasty stuff.
Damn.
It's terrible. And I'm not even monetized. So I feel sorry for all these, you know, sex bombs that do all these, you know, dirty movies and all that shit. They must really get some real bad shit. That's all I can say. But I just want to thank all of you for showing up tonight and hanging out with us on X and on Rumble. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And if we could just get some more facts out and let people look things up, whether it has to do with science, technology, or politics, it doesn't matter. As long as it's factual information, you can learn from that. And try not to make the same mistakes again. You know what I mean? But with supporting each other and keeping each other awake and paying attention to what's going on around us, I think we're going to be successful. So that's all I wanted to say. And I just want to say God bless America and God bless everyone on this planet. And hopefully we can all fight side by side and accomplish something good. You know what I mean? But I want to say thank you to all of you guys. I really, really appreciate all of you. And hopefully we'll see you next Friday and next Thursday at the Thursday night show. But it's not political at all. I'm trying to make it more into, you know, other things that are going on in the world that there's shit involved in, but not so much all politics with, you know, this government, with the United States of America, because shit is happening around the world. So hope you join me next Thursday night. And that's at 8. And then the Friday night shit show again with all of us. And maybe it might be rooftop again. We'll just have to wait and see. But I just want to say thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Later.
But your eyes are flying saucers from